spring of the year she turned 17. So years go by, children are born, hair turns gray, and wrinkles form. But in her mind, it's still spring, and she will always be 17. We all are human, from the cradle to the grave. We march from age to age, and each year we turn a page, and we turn toes to come, knowing that in spring we will always be 17. So years go by, children are born, hair turns gray, wrinkles form, but in our minds it's still spring, and we will always be 17. Now ancient times are free from pain. I still standing in a body raised from the grave. There is no tattoo. We live forever in the kingdom of Yahweh. Our bodies will not age. You with wisdom on the stage. And in this world to come, every day is spring, and we will always be 17. Yes, we will always be.
Yeah. Shalom, everyone. This is Brother Doug. My sister Shoshana, she was just singing our intro song for today. We Will Always Be 17. It was a song written personally by her. So we are the Weekend by Yahuwah Fellowship Group, and we're celebrating Yom Rishon Sukkot. So the first day of Sukkot of Tabernacles. So today we're going to be reading from the Torah because Nehemiah, when him and the exiles came back from Babylon, that's what they were doing to celebrate the Feast of Booths, the Feast of Sukkot. It says in Nehemiah chapter 8, 17 to 18, and all the congregation or assembly who had returned from the captivity, meaning from the captivity of the 70 year of Daniel captivity, made booths and dwelt in booths, for the children of Yahshua had not done so from the days of Yahushua son of Nun until that day, and there was great joy. Wow, interesting. And Ezra read in the book of the law of Yahuwah daily, from the first day even to the last day, referring to the last great day, the 8th day. And they kept the feast 7 days, and on the 8th day a solemn assembly. It was a high day, basically. That's the other commanded high day of this weekly feast, according to the ordinance. So that's why I just wanted to give a foundation why we're reading from the Torah today. So that's why we're choosing to do this custom that Nehemiah, I guess, was instituting when they came back from Babylon. So we're going to be starting here, and we're going to be starting reading from the book of Genesis here. So here we go. I'll be starting us off here. I'll be testing the Targum of Onkelos, which is pretty much, a translation of the Aramaic Tanakh the Aramaic Pentateuch, the first 5 books of Moses, which was supposedly it's the oldest version of the Pentateuch we have to date, supposedly, according to scholars. So here we go. It says, in the first times Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth was empty, and darkness was upon the face of the abyss. You know, the waters under the waters, the bottomless pit. The abyss is also known as the bottomless pit, you know, where Sheol is, the grave. And a wind from before Yahuwah blew upon the face of the waters. So first, before I continue, I want to just show that depending on which Targum you read from, the Jerusalem Targum does not just say Yahuwah created. It actually says in wisdom. Bahukema, in wisdom, Yahuwah created. So Yahusha, who's referenced as wisdom metaphorically in the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 30, and I believe also verse 22 and other verses in that chapter hint that he is the person wisdom. So the Jerusalem Targum actually says, in wisdom, in Yahusha, Yahuwah created. So I just wanted to show that real quick, just kind of as an interesting little anecdote there. But let's continue. It says, and the earth was empty, and darkness was upon the face of the abyss, and a wind from before Yahuwah blew upon the face of the waters. So that means the spirit of Yahuwah blew upon the face of the waters. And Yahuwah said, let there be light, and there was light. And as you can see, a huge difference here with the Aramaic is they're, instead of Elohim, they're actually using the Father's personal name when referencing him. It's not a plurality of mighty one. It's actually his name being used here. And Yahuwah saw that light, that it was tube, and Yahuwah distinguished between light and between the darkness, and Yahuwah called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and there was evening, and there was morning, day the first. Now again, that's how it's written in Hebrew, and you know, the way our English language, you know, reads, it's kind of the opposite in Hebrew. And my sister Shoshana could probably even, you know, give account to that Hebrew is read differently from English.
Yeah, Yom Rishon.
Yom Rishon. Yeah, so so it's always so basically the way it would be written in English is the opposite in Hebrew. The last word of the sentence would be the first word in Hebrew, basically. So
Well, not necessarily. It's just that the adjectives that modify the noun are behind the noun instead of before the noun.
Oh, okay.
In English, we would say first day. In Hebrew and in Spanish and French and several other languages, it's said the opposite way. Day the first, Yom Rishon. So,
Interesting.
it's just the way certain languages are meant to be. For instance, if you say day, then the first or whatever day it is, it's like you have the day first and then you have which day. It's like just a little bit different way of thinking than we do in English.
Yeah.
Not a big deal, not a big difference.
No, not at all. So, and let's see here. Now we're up to the second day, or day the second, you know, Yom. So now it says, and Yahuwah said, let there be a firmament. So now we're on day 2 where there's going to be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Let it distinguish between waters and waters, meaning, you know, waters above, waters below. The waters that would be in the abyss is below. And Yahuwah made the firmament and distinguished between the waters which were under the firmament. So under firmament, actually this would be the sea, my bad. This would actually be the sea. And between the waters which were above the firmament. So, you know, the clouds, the sky, how you see the sky is always blue when there's not that many clouds. And you can actually see the sky, that's the waters above. That's the waters which are above the firmament. And it was so. And Yahuwah called the firmament the heavens, plural. So that would be ha-shamayim in Hebrew. So the heavens. And it was evening, and then it was morning, day, yom. What would be second in Hebrew, sis?
I don't know second.
Okay. All right,
I just
we'll
remember Rishon is first.
All right, so we'll just day 2 or the second day. All right, so we got to the part where the firmament is made, the waters above, now the sea is coming under. All right, so now let's keep going here, and it says, and Yahuwah said, the waters shall be collected under the heavens into one region, and dry land shall appear. So the eretz, the earth, what we call earth is just dry land, just kind of explain to people. And it was so, and Yahuwah called the dry land earth, and the place of collection of waters he called sea. So the waters that were below the firmament were called the sea. And Yahuwah saw that it was tube, and Yahuwah said, the earth shall bring forth grass, the plant whose germ seed is sown, the fruit tree making fruit according to its kind, whose germ seed is in it upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth put forth grass, the herb whose germ seed is sown after its kind. And notice how important it has to be after its own kind. Let's keep that as we're reading this week. We're going to see how important that's going to get to once we get to like Deuteronomy and Exodus and Leviticus. You'll see how important that phrase is. And the tree making fruit whose seed is in it after its kind. And Yahuwah saw that it was tube, and it was evening, and it was morning, day the 3rd. And Yahuwah said, there shall be lights in the firmament of heaven to distinguish the day and the night. And they shall be for signs, for times, for numbering of days and years. And they shall be luminaries in the firmament of heaven to shine upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahuwah made the 2 great luminaries, the greater luminary to rule in the day. And then if you read the book of Enoch, it will literally tell you what the greater luminary is, but most people understand the greater luminary is the sun. And then it says the smaller luminary to rule in the night, which again, the book of Enoch tells you that's the moon. And it says, and the stars. So sun, moon, and the stars, day 4. And Yahuwah set them in the firmament of heaven to shine upon the earth, to rule in the day and in the night, and to distinguish between light and darkness, day and night. And Yahuwah saw that it was tube, and there was evening, and there was morning, day the 4th. And anyone that, is, interested when a day starts, you can kind of get a feeling that you can kind of see when a day starts according to the Father. It's sunset, then sunset to sunset. Every time it's sunset, a new day starts. So that's something you should keep in mind here, as every time it's a new day, evening then morning, evening then morning. So the night always comes before the morning. Okay, so, and Yahuwah said, let the waters generate the moving creature, life or high, and the fowl which flies over the earth, birds, vultures, eagles, on the face of the firmament of heaven. Now that's interesting. It's kind of saying that there's a face on the firmament, almost like a flat surface, kind of interesting. And Yahuwah created the great Taninia. See, some of this Aramaic stuff I really don't know. I would have to look at, what is this? Let's see, Yahuwah great Taninia, every living. So this is the birds. So that would be, I think I'm going to go to the Septuagint here to see what that says in that verse, because Taninia, trying to see darkness is night, firmament in the midst of water, and the division between, okay, let's see here. Okay, we're almost there. And he said, let earth bring forth the herb grass. Okay. 3rd day. No, we want to get to the 4th day here. And Yahuwah said, let waters bring forth reptiles having life. So Septuagint says, let waters bring forth reptiles having life, and winged creatures flying above the earth in the firmament of heaven, and it was so. And Yahuwah made great whales. That's interesting. Interesting difference. And every living reptile, which the waters brought forth. So there's reptiles that could swim. That's interesting. I wonder who's talking about crocodiles and all that.
There's frogs and there's lizards.
Frogs,
Salamanders.
Yeah. Salamanders, chameleons. I don't know if trying to think what other type of creatures that are reptiles that could swim.
Alligators.
Yeah, I was thinking about alligator. That's like the main one I was thinking of was crocodile or alligator. Yeah. For according to their kinds, every creature that flies with wings according to its kind. Yahuwah saw that they were two, and Yahuwah baruch them, saying, increase and multiply and fill the waters and seas, and let the creatures that fly be multiplied on the earth. And there was evening, there was morning, the fifth day. And Yahuwah said, let earth bring forth living creature according to its kind. Again, we're seeing according to its kind being referenced every time. It's very important to the Father. And so, according to his kind, quadrupeds. Now, quadrupeds, I'm guessing, would be all fours, creatures that would be, moving on all fours, or four-legged creatures. Let's see here. And reptiles and beasts of the earth according to their kind. It was so. And Yahuwah made the beasts of the earth according to their kind, and cattle according to their kind, and all the reptiles of the earth according to their kind. And Yahuwah saw that they were two. And Yahuwah said, oh, this is something I wanted to mention too. Notice how nothing's evil yet. I want to keep that in everyone's mind right now. There's nothing wrong with his creation yet, including his angels. Hint, hint. Okay? No one has fallen yet. So I want to keep that in people's mind. And Yahuwah saw, let us make man. Yep.
And Doug, the angels were created on day 4. They are the stars.
Yep. So day 4, you have the lights the stars that were after the moon and sun. And so day 4, a couple verses earlier in this chapter. So we're already up to day 6, about man about to be created, and none of the stars are considered evil. So just saying. You have verse 26 where you have the plurality of us, even though it's Yahuwah in the Aramaic. It says, and Yahuwah said, let us. Who is he referring to? Who's the other person? Obviously, I believe that's Yahusha here. Let us make man according to our image, singular, and likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the flying creatures of heaven, and over the cattle and all the earth, and over all the reptiles that creep on the earth. So this is what was supposed to be. We were supposed to have dominion over every creature, and you can see how that changed eventually with the fall. It says, and Yahuwah made man according to the image of Yahuwah, he made him. Now, I just want to check with the Aramaic in this particular verse, because I think there might be a plurality in that part. Let me just see here. It says, okay, yeah. All right, it
Doug,
says, yeah.
I'm thinking that it really didn't change even after mankind fell from truth and grace, or whatever the word is, mercy, favor, because we are still to this day over all of the animals. We reign over the animals and the vegetable kingdom to this day.
The only reason I was thinking that was because I know that the fear of us, there's somewhere in Genesis where it talks about the fear of you should be upon every animal, and it seems like now some animals we're afraid of, like lions and stuff like that, and it seems like it's kind of a tiny bit switched. It seems like a tiny bit that maybe we still have dominion, but the fear of us is really not on every creature, it seems like. Seems like more or less.
And that is man's fault, our fault, for we take them in our homes and tame them. Even the wildest beasts, like the lion, the tiger. People have them as pets,
Mhm.
and that is why some of them do not fear us.
Yep. So that's a good point. That's a 2-point there. So I was just checking in the Aramaic to see the way it's worded in verse 27 here. The mankind in his image, in the image of Yahuwah, he created him, male and female, he created them, and Yahuwah baruch them and said to them, spread abroad and become many and fill the earth. This is something I want to mention because there might be some King James only people watching our videos and stuff. If you look up replenish in the 1828 Webster Dictionary, #1 definition is fill, like for the first time, not refill. That's something I wanted to make clear, and you can see the Aramaic here. It says fill the earth, does not say refill. So that's something I wanted to make clear because I know there's some gap theory people that might be watching. So just something to study for yourself. And be strong upon it and have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of heavens, over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And Yahuwah said, behold, I have given you every plant which seeds germ seed, which is upon all the earth, and every tree which is in the fruit tree, which seeds germ seed, unto you it shall be for food, and unto every beast of the earth, every fowl of the heavens, so every bird of the heavens, and every reptile upon the earth, so reptiles that are land reptiles, in which is the breath of life. Now that's very important there. It shows that we're not the only ones that have the breath of life. So that, to me, that's pretty interesting and important there. Every green herb to eat, and it was so, and Yahuwah saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very steadfast, and it was evening, and it was morning, day the 6th. As you can see again, that's how it would be written in Hebrew. And the sevens, my bad, and the heavens and the earth and all their army were complete. This is another thing. Most people will just kind of read across the army. Who's the army? Were completed. Talking about the stars again. And the heavens and the earth and all their army, or in your modern Bibles it would say host. It should say armies. Were completed, and Yahuwah finished in the 7th day his work which he had worked, and rested in the 7th day from all his work which he had worked. And Yahuwah baruch the 7th day and made it set apart, because in it he rested from all his work which Yahuwah had created to make. These are the memorials of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day when Yahuwah Elohim. So this is the first time we actually see Elohim or Elohim it's coupled with the Father's name first. Made the earth and the heavens, and all the trees of the field were not yet in the earth, and every herb of the field had not yet sprung up, because Yahuwah Elohim had not caused